The tiny ant and the power of small steps. Early one warm morning, a tiny ant walked slowly across a wide green field. The sun was rising gently in the sky, and sparkling drops of dew rested on the grass like tiny diamonds. The ant searched carefully for food. After a few moments, she found a single grain lying near a leaf, almost as large as her head, but the ant did not complain. She lifted it with all her strength and slowly began walking back home. Step by step, she moved forward. When she finally reached her small underground home, she placed the grain safely inside. Then she rested quietly for a moment and smiled with satisfaction. The next morning, the ant woke up early again. She walked into the field, searched carefully, and found another grain, lifted it, and carried it home, slowly and patiently. One grain, one day at a time. Every single day, the ant repeated the same simple habit. At noon, a grasshopper noticed her working and began to laugh loudly. "Little ant," he said, "why do you work so hard for just one grain? You are so slow. Why don't you carry a huge pile at once?" He smiled gently and replied, "I only carry one grain each day, but I never miss a day." The grasshopper shook his head and laughed again. "That will take forever." Then he jumped away happily, singing and playing in the sunshine for the rest of the day, continued her work quietly. One grain today, another grain tomorrow. Some days were extremely hot. The bright sun burned across the field, and the ant became tired and thirsty. Still, she carried her grain home. Some days were windy. Powerful gusts pushed her backward as she walked, making every step difficult. But she refused to stop. The ground became muddy and slippery, and tiny puddles blocked her path. Yet the ant kept moving forward carefully. She did not wait to feel motivated. She simply followed her habit. One grain every day. Days slowly turned into weeks. Weeks slowly turned into months. Quietly, patiently, without showing off, the tiny ant continued her small task. While other insects wasted time playing, the ant stayed focused and disciplined. Then winter finally arrived. Cold winds swept across the empty field. Trees stood silent beneath the gray sky. Food became very difficult to find. The grasshopper, who once laughed at the ant, was now hungry and weak. He searched everywhere for food, but the field was empty. Cold and exhausted, the grasshopper finally walked to the ant's home and knocked softly on the door. The ant opened it. The grasshopper looked inside, and his eyes widened with shock. Inside the tiny home were mountains of grains. Grains in one corner, grains in another corner, food everywhere. "How did you collect so much?" the grasshopper asked in amazement. The ant smiled softly and replied, "I did not collect it all in one day. I simply carried one grain every day." At that moment, the grasshopper finally understood the truth. Small actions may seem unimportant at first, but when repeated every single day, they become powerful. Big success is not built in one giant step. It is built through small steps repeated again and again. So remember the lesson of the tiny ant. You do not need to do something huge today. Just take one small step. Carry one grain today, carry another tomorrow, and one day you will look back and realize those tiny steps created something truly great.